Thank you very much. Thank you for having Benny. Appreciate that. In addition to chicory fiber, we're also going to be touching on low glycemic carbohydrate. So we've got a lot of information. We'll run through it quickly. So certainly after we're done, ask us questions or catch us even after that. We'll be happy to exchange cards and we can touch on anything else that we went over here quickly. So we'll talk about some global trends in the food industry, some bakery-specific ones, some nutrition benefits of these unique carbs being the prebiotic chicory fiber, as well as the low glycemic sugar, technical uses of these ingredients in different applications, as well as some market examples. So global trends at a glance. Julian Molenton, every year from New Nutrition Business, puts out his global trends for the coming year. And so I'll read these off here quickly. Digestive wellness, good carbs, bad carbs, plant-based, fragmentation and personalization, fat reborn, protein, snackification, authenticity and provenance, essentially where a product is coming from, sugar, as well as beverages redefined. So the ingredients we'll talk about today will touch on these highlighted areas, so touching many different trends in this year and moving forward. And first, there's really four mega trends that are affecting those other trends that were pointed out. So when you're making a product, you really have to think about it being naturally functional. And thanks to technology, the consumer's in charge, so they can see information on their phone, good or bad, so you have to be aware of that. And consumers are all food explorers. We want to see innovative things, exciting new products out on the market, and we're concerned about looking good, feeling good, and weight management. So brand owners, manufacturers need to be aware of that when they're making products. So looking at the Americas region, a bit hard to read, but in the Americas, you have the U.S. leading the volume of baked goods, followed by Brazil and Mexico. Top 5 companies: Bimbo, Mondelez, General Mills, Kellogg's, also Campbell Soup with their Pepperidge Farm baked goods. And some top categories: breads and rolls, cakes, and morning goods. So you see a lot of breakfast biscuits that are out on the retail shelf, and some growing categories: baking ingredients, cakes, pastries, and pies, as well as morning goods again. So growing just shy of 2% for the next few years. And so there's different strategies to handle sugar. In some cases, just reducing the sugar and talking about it. So in this case, it's a 30% sugar reduction, so they're making that claim right on the product. Some companies are using fruit paste or purees to add sweetness to products. Some are just going the traditional indulgent route, and that's okay. And then others are looking at sugar for energy or other high-quality carbohydrates to provide energy. And then there's also stealth reduction, so launching a product without actually talking that you're reducing sugar. So their own wave will be looking to do that. Nestle as well has communicated about that. Nestle has also created a sugar particle that provides less calories compared to a typical sugar particle. And also, no added sugars are very important. So, as you may be aware, in 2020, January 2020, nutrition facts panels in the U.S. will need to list no added sugars as a line item. And so the industry is now very concerned about no added sugars. And you see products with no added sugar are really taking off. Sugar-free dropping off a bit, and low and reduced sugar also climbing. So some different categories. So we have the no added sugar, sugar-free, and low and reduced sugar bars. Sweet biscuits and cookies leading the pack in all of them for those types of claims. So definitely something to be aware of. And also artificial ingredients. Companies are taking steps to reduce artificial ingredients, go more natural, whether it be flavors or colors. And you see a lot of large companies out there talking about this very, very publicly, letting consumers aware. So, what is chicory root fiber? Technically, it's known as inulin and oligofructose. And how it's composed is, so the chicory root is the raw material, and how it's composed is chain lengths of fructose, sometimes different chain lengths, and sometimes they end in a glucose. And to make oligofructose, it's just a short chain product where there's an enzymatic hydrolysis that's cutting up those chains. And what you get is a variety of different ingredients giving different properties, which I'll get to in a So it's approved as a dietary fiber by FDA. It's a soluble fiber, so that's very important in baked goods. That's very easy to use, easy to incorporate. Provides sugar and fat reduction or even full replacement, and it's only 2 calories per gram, so you're getting a calorie reduction as well. And you get prebiotic benefits, in which Denisse will go into in further detail. And based on all the science behind this ingredient, you can make structure-function claims. So these aren't health claims, these are structure-function claims, and also nutrient content claims regarding sugar reduction, fat reduction, and fiber addition.
And to start with a little bit on the science of chicory root fiber, I always like to start with this little diagram. Maybe you will see this. We know that the power of the gut microbiota on overall health is really remarkable. Science nowadays is showing that the gut microbiota are not only affecting your digestive system, but they're in constant communication with your nervous system. We've all heard about the gut-brain axis. It's also communicating with our immune system, and it's also communicating with our hormonal system. So it's very important to keep that balance in the gut microbiota, because you're not only affecting your digestive health, you're affecting overall health. Now, you are able to change your gut microbiota composition, to shift that composition by eating prebiotics. And in that way, you keep your gut microbiota a little bit balanced, keeping the good bacteria at higher levels and the pathogens out, and keeping that outreach to the body in balance as well. And by shifting that gut microbiota composition with prebiotics, you're able to influence much more than your digestive health. You're able to influence your bowel regularity, your weight management, improved calcium absorption, blood glucose management, and much more. Now, how do prebiotics work? Probably you have seen this before. So a dietary prebiotic like chicory root fiber is fully fermented in the large intestine, and the bacteria that are naturally in your gut are consuming that prebiotic, digesting it, and they are reproducing and thriving on it. They're also producing bacterial metabolites and short-chain fatty acids, which are the ones that are communicating with the rest of your body. And that way, the beneficial bacteria grow, like bifidobacteria, and the harmful bacteria and pathogens are kept out. So that's, in a nutshell, how a prebiotic works. Now, prebiotic is not something new. You probably have heard more about it recently because of the hype of the gut microbiome and all the research that's going on in that field. But it's not new. It's been out there since the 1980s, when it was first discovered in Japan with fructooligosaccharides. Then it was picked up in Europe by Professor Robert Fry and Professor Gibson. IBIE itself has been a pioneer in research in prebiotics since 20 plus years. And most recently, the scientific community has really accepted the prebiotic effect as an established fact. More recently, in 2017, so ISAP, the International Scientific Association for Pro and Prebiotics, has released a consensus statement on the definition of what is a prebiotic, and they looked at different ingredients and components to make this analysis. The current definition is a substrate that is selectively utilized by the host microorganisms, and very importantly, it should confer a health benefit. That's a very important criteria of a prebiotic. Now, the three criteria that the ISAP took was, what is the research out there? What are the amount of studies? What are the findings? What are the quality of the studies for these substances? Is there some selectivity, so selectivity of either bifidobacteria or lactobacilli? And is there a health benefit? So these were the three criteria. And out of this evaluation, they concluded that there's only currently 3 proven prebiotics. Those are inulin, oligofructose or FOS, and galacto-oligosaccharides. So out of these 3, chicory root fibers, which are inulin and oligofructose, are the only plant-based proven prebiotics, and they're the most well-studied. And And this is part of the body of science that chicory root fibers have in the modulation of the gut microbiota, or the so-called prebiotic effect, showing a consistent increase in bifidobacteria, and these are human intervention trials, so all of them, 25 human interventions trials, and showing an effect in increased bifidobacteria from 5 grams a day, so a very small dosage. And this effect has been seen not only in adults, so the previous chart was basically adult data, but we have also seen it in infants and also small children, and covering relevant factors like different ethnic groups, different ages, different genders, and the most important thing is the link to the health benefit. So chicory root fibers have also found effects on improving digestive health, improving quality of life, improving bone health through mineral absorption, improving weight management by reducing the amount of calories that you take, and much more. So in terms of structure-function claims that can be used in the US, because of the science, you can use claims around prebiotic, around digestive health, blood glucose management, calcium absorption and bone health, and weight management. And there is a proprietary claim, 13.5 health claim in the European Union that is proprietary to Beneo for bowel regularity health claim as well. And I'd like to include a little bit on what's upcoming in research, emerging science for chicory root fibers. So the areas that we're looking into is healthy aging. There is a study on intake of chicory root fiber and reduction of frailty in the elderly. There's also a study on improvement of inner defense in toddlers. So by taking a supplement of chicory root fiber every day for 6 months, you showed that the children had reduced fever, and they had stabilized bifidobacteria even while they were taking antibiotics in case they got sick. And a very exciting, more recent one is a study done in children with type 1 diabetes, where chicory root fiber supplementation showed an effect on beta cell function, improving glycemic control and intestinal permeability.
Okay, now we'll talk about some technical properties of chicory fibers. So going back to those chain lengths, those long chain lengths, those short chain lengths of those fructose units bound with the glucose. So you look at fructose being the shorter chain product, and when you go to the industry and look for ingredients, you'll find ones that are 100% short chain product, different blends, and then also the longer chains of inulin. So what these shorter chains give you, which it works great for baked goods, you get a mild sweetness or medium sweetness. So in sweet baked goods, it can provide the sweetness naturally. Very high solubility as well. And then on the other side, the longer chain products are more about providing texture in baked goods. So not as sweet, but it's giving texture. So depending on the product that you're working with, there's a host of ingredients to match the application. So chicory fiber acts similar to sugar. It's a bulking agent, controls viscosity of the dough, water activity, and so on. But what you're getting is fiber addition, a lower calorie ingredient, so a lower calorie final product. You get a nice clean sweetness, rounded sweetness, although it's reduced. But you do have to watch for spread with low fructose. So if you're making cookies, for example, that short chain product, as the product bakes, you'll see a spread. So it's just something to watch for, and it can be mitigated. So global product launches, this is just a very handful of them. So you have cookies, you have a pancake mix, you have sliced bread, cookies for kids, filled pastries. So lots of different ways to incorporate chicory fiber, which is also gluten-free. So you see a product here that's talking about without gluten. Now we'll switch to isomaltulose. So this is a good carbohydrate. not that chicory fiber is a bad carbohydrate, but we're just switching gears on functional carbohydrates. So what is isomaltulose? It's a slow release or low glycemic carbohydrate. Supplies the body with full caloric energy, so you're getting that full 4 calories per gram, but it's over a longer time. You're getting this slow release of glucose into the bloodstream, and it's about 50% the sweetness of sucrose. So it's made from sucrose, taken from sugar beet, and the bond between glucose and fructose is rearranged in a way that it's, for the body, it's 4 to 5 times more slowly or harder for the body to digest compared to sucrose.
Right. And now for the health benefits, because of that stronger linkage that Kyle was referring to, palatinose or isomaltulose has a unique range of physiological properties, starting from slow and sustained energy release, low blood glucose response, higher level of fat burning, and it's also tooth friendly. Now, if we look at sustained energy, how does this happen compared to sucrose, which has a very early and very fast intestinal release? It's known as a fast sugar, fast energy. If we compare it to palatinose, isomaltulose, we see that it has a very slow, sustained release, and it's released throughout the small intestine. In terms of the low glycemic properties, they have been confirmed in over 30 human intervention trials, showing the lower rise of blood glucose, and next to it, of course, the lower rise in insulin. And this lower rise in insulin also provides a metabolic advantage. And we have measured that palatinose is actually promoting fat burning. And we have seen this not only in endurance athletes or very trained people, which I think is a very good carbohydrate for this target group, but we've also seen it at rest and in moderately active people, people of normal weight, overweight people, and also seen it in situations of normal or impaired glucose tolerance. In terms of what can be claimed on PAC for structure function claims, anything related to the lower glycemic effect, to a more balanced blood glucose that we've seen not only after a meal, but we've seen throughout the day as well. Sustained energy, higher level of fat burning related to the physical activity, but also related to weight management, and the tooth-friendly aspect.
And so using isomaltulose in baked goods, again, a healthy sugar that can either be used to partially or completely replace other high glycemic sugars. So there's no major changes in the recipe or the process to use. Isomaltulose behaves very similar to sucrose. It has good dough handling, provides some browning, it provides pleasant texture, taste, and provides also some shelf life benefits, which I'll show in the next slide coming up. And some other applications, you can use it in fillings, drizzles on top of bars or on top of baked goods. It can also be used within bars as well for these healthy benefits. So, a very interesting way to use isomaltulose is in glazes or icings for donuts. So, what can happen is you can get moisture migration coming from the donut into the glaze or the icing, which then makes a less appealing from the eye look of that glaze or icing. It looks sticky, runs off. So what isomaltulose can be used for is affecting the water activity to help control that migration of moisture. So what you get is a longer shelf life donut, moisture, and a more appealing glaze or icing on the product. And this is being used in fresh and also frozen products. And again, some global product launches using isomaltulose. So you see a variety of donuts, granola, different breakfast biscuits, and cookies as well. And that concludes our presentation, so we'd be happy to take any questions.